You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, and good morning, and welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh, Sudbury News and Views right here in Greater Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. We are glad to be here on the air with you live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio, also streaming live at cklu.ca on the internet, auditorily. You can listen to us that way. Just click on the Radio Player Canada app and you can stream us. Also, download the same Radio Player Canada app and you can take us with you and listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. And it's as easy as that. We're also streaming on Facebook Live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and especially comment on this show, because this is your show on your station, live on the radio, streaming on the internet, and also live streaming video. And this is your opportunity to chime in on not only local issues that we talk about, news, weather, sports, and more issues that we all face abroad. And we welcome those who are from Sudbury and area and those joining us from all over the world. Welcome, whether you're from Sudbury, you've lived here, or you're just checking in on some of the stories we're talking about that impact you just as they impact us. Welcome. Thanks for being with us. Great to have you. And with that, good morning, Judy. Thanks for being on. Glad that you're with us. And we should be having a good day weather-wise today. We'll get into that a little bit later. Good morning, everyone. That's Monique. Good morning. Hope you're having a good day as well. Denise, thanks for being with us. Good morning, everyone. Yes. And all you that are listening on the radio that can't say good morning to you. Happy birthday for all those that it's your birthday today. Hope you're having a good day as well. We are also joined by our co-host this morning. Anik Gervais is with us. How are you doing, Anik?
I'm good. How are you, Aaron? I'm really excited to be on the show today. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and we'll talk about maybe, where you've been, what you've been up to, some of the experiences you've had, and things, and also get into all the great things that we're going to be talking about today on the show. Lots to talk about.
I hope you're going to tell me that it's going to stop to rain. I hope that's what you're going to tell me.
I'm going to try to say that as much as I can possibly say that. That's in the plans to say. So let's see if Environment Canada has the same thing in mind as you do. And then that'll be if I say it or not. So let's dive right in with that. We'll get all your comments, so make sure to comment with that. Good morning, Vin. Hope you're having a good morning along with Randy. Thanks for being with us, Randy. Good morning. Hope you're all having a great morning. Belinda as well. Good morning, everybody. And let's dive right in. We'll get into that, some sports, some news headlines. Let's talk about today the whole Beaver Lake Fire Hall thing. Beaver Lake has been on fire, so to speak, in terms of the residents there and their wanting to keep their fire hall. And there's also a deep dive today into Theresa Tam's declaration that there was a report out talking about, white supremacy, colonialism, capitalism, and climate change have a lot to do with our health in Canada, and we need to address these things in order to be healthier. So we'll look at that and ask ourselves, does that make any sense at all? And do a deep dive there. Electric vehicles as well in Sudbury, Laurentian University. Some things have been happening there, and much, much more in our show today. Good morning. Heading to the picket line. Yeah. Well, we'll get to the weather to see how your weather is going to be treating you on the picket line, Pam. And we're getting right there right now. We'll be back right after this weather report. Sudbury Weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. While I get this computer thing figured out, we'll just start it here. We'll just do this. There's usually something every day that seems to throw us a loop, and this is one of the things that was not sharing my screen. So I just have to restart the app. It just needs to restart the app, and then it's going to work, But these are the things you deal with. Technology. There you go. There you are. Here you have it, and there we have it up on the screen. Sorry for all those on the radio. I'm just giving you a play-by-play of our technical difficulties that we're experiencing here. Okay, currently 5 degrees. Light rain shower. Today we can expect a few showers ending this morning, then a mix of sun and cloud with 40% chance of showers. The wind will be mild, a high of 12. So you got showers ending this morning, whatever that means. I don't know how late it's going to end possibly. So Pam, if you're out on the picket lines, you can expect rain for the first part of it anyways. Hopefully it clears up while you're out there. Mainly cloudy tonight with a 40% chance of showers and low of +5. And then Thursday, tomorrow, mainly cloudy, 30% chance of showers in the morning and early in the afternoon. So I guess we still got some showers. There may be some breaks in the showers, but definitely showers in the forecast. High of 11. Index for the UV will be 4 or moderate. Now, here you go. Chance of showers, 30% for tomorrow, which means there's a 70% chance it won't rain. I just have to mention that. 11 degrees is your high. May the 5th, Friday, it'll be the Sudbury Five's first playoff game. A 30% chance of showers. High of 16. Saturday, mix of sun and cloud. High of 20. Sunday, mix of sun and cloud. High of 22. So I know you're listening, certain people out there wanting it to be warm. Here you go. 24 on Monday. High of 24 degrees and mix of sun and cloud. And here we're back to a 30% chance of showers on Tuesday. But you know how the forecast goes going that far. We're lucky if we can go 3 days in the forecast. But they've been right about the rain. There's no doubt about that. That's your Sudbury Weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports right after this. The Sudbury Five were in action last night against the London Lightning in town. The game where everything hung on the line, whether we were going to walk away with first place going into the playoffs or not. I don't think. But we didn't win. So we lost 106-101 against the London Lightning. We'll now face off. Face off is a hockey term. We'll now face the not the London Lightning, but the Windsor Express in the playoffs. And they start Friday, May the 5th, and then Saturday, May the 2nd. You can get your tickets for both of those games at the Sudbury Arena box office, or you can go online. You Google getting tickets for the Sudbury Five, and it'll tell you all the ways you can do that. Go to the5.ca for more information. Sudbury Five are in the playoffs. It's going to be exciting. Get out there and support them. Basketball is always a great, they put on a great product on the floor, and also there's just a great atmosphere there, the music, the vibe, so to speak. But we've lost multiple games now going into the playoffs. Not a time you want to start losing, but get out there and cheer on your Sudbury Five and let them know that you're behind them and support them. Get out and get your tickets for those games. Sudbury Wolves have announced the signing of Caden Taylor following the first round selection of the 2023 OHL priority selection. He's 6'2", 174 pounds. He's a forward from Shanty Bay, Ontario. He signed a standard player agreement with the Wolves, and they're very excited for him. Rob Papineau, he's the Wolves vice president and general manager, spoke highly of him. The addition, we're really happy about both being able to draft Caden and now having him commit to our hockey club. He's a highly offensive player, that we really coveted these past 2 seasons and are excited for our fans to see him in a Wolves jersey. So that'll be next season. Really great to see Caden signing on officially with the Sudbury Wolves. That is your Sudbury Sports Report, brought to you by Randy Pascal. He's that Sudbury Sports guy, and SudburySports.com is his website for all things Sudbury Sports. Visit SudburySports.com. We'll be back with news headlines. And Nick, we'll be back with your comments and much, much more right after this. All right, and Nick is here with us this morning. I know a lot of our viewers and listeners look forward to when you're on the show.
Oh,
and Nick,
thank you.
yeah, and there's a lot of things going on in our world, locally, in our little bubble in Sudbury, and more as you get further away. There's lots of things going on as well, and I like unpacking those types of things with you on the show, and I know a lot of our listeners and watchers do as well. With that, David is joining us as well. David, good morning. Stay safe. Shane, good morning. Glad to have you on here. Hope you're having a great day. Belinda, we have so much flooding in Dowling. Oh my goodness. Sorry
I figured
to hear
that is going to start happening, especially with all the snow melting so fast, and it's just been raining for about 3 weeks.
I know,
So
it's
that
crazy.
is not good times.
It's crazy. Now, it could have been worse, right? If we would have had those really nice days, we had those high temperatures and the lot of the snow thawing out and whatever, and then we would have had that rain right after it. It would have been really bad. But there was a little bit of time allowing the earth to absorb some of that anyways, but it's still bad. So sad to hear that you're having the flooding in Dowling, Belinda, and I know a lot of other areas in Sudbury are too. And with that, Louise, good morning. Hooray, some sun, most needed for sure. Thanks for joining us, Louise. Hope you're having a great day as well. So you've been busy, Nick. You've been all over the world. Can you just give us a little summary of what you've been up to and what you've been seeing these last little while?
Thank you. I earned a free cruise, a 7-day cruise with Sensi. So Sensi, you get to travel the world for free, and it's absolutely all of it is for free. So I'm pretty blessed. I got some really amazing customers and people who want to join the business, or people are looking to make extra income, and they come to me and we grow a business together. And then anyways, I went on this cruise, a Western Mediterranean cruise. So I went to the Bahamas, I went to Haiti. And when you say Haiti, you wouldn't expect people to want to go there, but the Royal Caribbean cruise actually bought part of the island and transformed it
into a tourist-friendly section.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I had no idea that Haiti had these gorgeous mountains, and it was really nice. It was really nice.
Geographically speaking, it's right there. It's in the ocean. It's beautiful weather. It's everything going for it. Beauty, you name it. It's a tropical paradise. However, politically and economically, it's hell on earth. But that's
it's just so unfortunate because these people are just so greedy. And if you weren't so greedy, look how more prosperous the land could be, how the potential of your property could be. It's just really unfortunate that that's what usually happens when evil comes takes over.
And there's a lot of that's been going on there over the years. Very, very. That's like a very layered onion there. That whole country and what's going on politically. But we don't.
Honest, I don't know much. I just know that it's very dangerous, and that whole area we were in was gated with guards.
It would have to be for sure. Yeah. So
then we went to Jamaica for 2 days, and then came back. And it was supposed to rain the whole time, and it didn't at all.
I wish we had the same thing here.
And I come back here, and it's just rain. So gloomy.
Yeah, I really feel bad for those that are really affected by weather because it's not a good week for those people. I'm affected as well. Obviously, I like it when it's sunny.
I get migraines too, And I feel like the weather, the on off, the
Yeah.
pressure, it's just not a good time. It's
No.
not a good time.
No. But I'm glad you had a good time, and it's good to have that vacation. And for those that don't know what Sensi is a multi-level marketing company, a direct marketing company that specializes in anything that
Fragrance.
smells really nice. And the way they go about it is they've really been innovative with the idea of a candle. So a lot of people, the idea of a candle, you light it with fire,
Yep.
and it burns, and now you have this possibly dangerous thing in your house just to get a nice fragrance. Where Scentsy solved that, and you just plug it in. You plug in a warmer, and it's a little piece of wax that goes on the warmer and slowly kind of melts
Yeah,
away.
we're just warming the wax. We're not burning the wax. There's no combustible. There's no soot.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's lead in your wick. We have eliminated all of that, any chances of having any dangers of fire. It's a very healthier choice of burning a candle. It's your safer alternative to, we practice safe sense on the daily.
Safe sense.
But I give free samples all the time. So if there's someone listening that doesn't know, have never tried Scentsy, send me a message on Anik Gervais on Facebook, or just search my name on Google. You'll find me, and I will send you some goodies.
Yeah, and I know people go crazy over it here at the office. I didn't realize how popular Scentsy actually was until you offered to give people some samples here, and I just, it was like I was saying, hey, do you guys want $20,000 each? And that was the reaction almost. They went crazy over it, and they all said, "Oh yeah, I got a Scentsy person," and they were all familiar with it already, and they were already kind of users of it. I didn't realize how popular it actually was. Now, switching gears a bit to something that's not so popular, there's been Laurentian University in the news over the last few years, following Laurentian situation inspires feds to review insolvency laws. This is Sudbury.com. Following Laurentian University's recent journey under the CCAA, Senator Lucie Moncion has authored a bill to prevent another post-secondary institution from taking a similar route. So we've already talked about this at length on many, many shows, and we knew that they were going to do this. Obviously, if Laurentian University could go insolvent, there were loopholes that they knew they had because of the laws, the way they were set up, and the lawyers actually gave this light to the board and said, hey, if you guys really want to, you could go this route and go insolvent, because there's loopholes in the laws. You can take advantage of this. And it's known now that the lawyers actually suggested to do this because of those loopholes. And that's why they made the decision to, now you got someone talking about, this is Cara B on YouTube, and the wax made the essential oils or fragrance melted. Okay, so there are essential oils in Scentsy?
Oh yeah, we sell diffusers, and we have essential oils as well, and air purifiers and cleaning products. We have a lot of different products, and they all smell great.
Cool. I wonder if Natalie Labby wants some Scentsy here. What's she saying? Just gotta see. Yeah, practice safe sense on the daily. My fiance is in the kitchen listening from afar, and he just yelled out, "What did she just say?" That's hilarious. Thanks, Natalie, for chiming in, and always great to have you on. And I heard it was a rather fiery meeting in the Beaver Lake Town Hall over the fire hall issue out there, and there's going to be more to come. I'm actually going to Beaver Lake next Wednesday, and I'll be speaking with some people there. So I'm going to get it right from the horse's mouth. So there'll be more to come on that. So starting to get out and dig into a little bit of more stories here. Speaking with the whole fire theme, here you have electric vehicles. Did you know that they have a tendency of lighting on fire?
Well, when you have certain type of batteries, you need to let the air, like when you're flying, you need to let the airline know when you have specific type of batteries. So this doesn't come as a big shocker. I never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a concern.
So no EV fires in Sudbury yet, but the firefighters need to prepare. The rise of popularity of electric vehicles means fire responders need to prepare in case your electric car or truck catches on fire.
So let's shut down more fire stations.
Okay, I guess, yeah. There's that. And then there's this big push for electric vehicles. You know, we're all supposed to have an electric vehicle by 2030 or something like that, 6.5 years. And these things catch on fire. I don't know. I don't think, you know. And then there was a story on the CBC the other day about a lady who travels a lot and she needs to charge up her electric vehicle here in Espanola. And there was only one charging station and it was out of service.
Oh my goodness.
And she's a whole electric vehicle, not a hybrid. So it wasn't like she could go, okay, well, I'll just gas up then and it'll get me off and running. And the CBC actually spun it as if it was a positive thing. Well, these are things we're going to have to just kind of work
Sacrifice
through.
for the
Yeah, but, you know, on our way to being all electric, it's just going to have to, you know, just have to be stuck in another town overnight for no reason and figure out another way to charge. Oh, she usually charges her car at home, you know. And
but
so
how would you stay another night? Like
I
the
don't know.
unit is not working. And we don't
Yeah.
know how long it's not going to work for. I heard it's billions of dollars. If everyone gets an electric car or 1 out of 5, it's billions and billions and billions of dollars for the infrastructure to be set up to be able to charge these vehicles. And did you know that I was not aware, but it makes sense that electric vehicles are much heavier than the average vehicle. So
Way
all
heavier.
these parking stations can actually start collapsing. Like a Ford F-150 is 2,000 to 3,000 pounds heavier than a regular gasoline vehicle.
Exactly. So now all the infrastructure, like you said, that we have these parking structures and things that were engineered because they took into account the capacity based on how heavy cars were, not how heavy they're going to be now that they're electric. And like you said, it would put a lot of people's safety at risk, not only having a parking facility collapse, but your car could catch on fire. So all these cars catch on fire and then they can get the parking structure could light on fire as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, all kinds of dangers and weird things that I think we're going a little too fast. I really do feel that if we went hybrid first, say, hey, how about by 2030, everyone has a hybrid? That would make more sense, right? Because that would just make more sense because we'd have more time to transition. But they're so bent on getting rid of fossil fuels overnight, like just totally lambasting everything.
It's interesting how we call it fossil fuels when the fuel does not come from fossils.
That is true. And I know some people that might be, you know, to hear you say that, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
But it doesn't.
Yeah,
it
doesn't
not
no.
come from fossil.
No, that's just coined that phrase. There was a theory that, you know, dinosaur bones or, you know, going back millions and millions of years, all the sediment from all that time is what creates oil underneath the earth. But
then there's a lack
that's not true
because there's only so many dinosaurs.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
lack of fossil fuels.
They've been saying we're going to run out of oil for years and years. And they also said there's going to be an ice age, not there's going to be global warming. They've said so many things that if people just kept track, they would say this is just another push. You know what I mean? They have to really be aware. But apparently the world's going along with all of this and they're all walking in lockstep, whether it's governments, corporations, everybody. We're all decided that this is the way we're going and we're going there fast, regardless of how much common sense it takes. So what's Vin saying? Okay, Laurentian applied for and received 50,000 vaccine promotional funding from the government while they're going through insolvency. Those same funds should have been spent on government research into the product they were promoting. Interesting. I didn't know they received $50,000 for that. Okay, one thing I've learned since amalgamation to the greater city of Sudbury is that
The closer you live to Sudbury, the greater it is. Smaller towns and outlying areas fight tooth and nail to keep our school and arenas in our services, which is kind of interesting because they've talked about these 15-minute cities and how they really want to push and pull everybody to the cities. So it's, it kind of makes sense what's happening.
It does, and it's all scary when you really take it all into consideration. So we're going all electric. There's not enough infrastructure for that. We don't even have the plants in place to build all these cars, but they're going full steam ahead. Speaking of steam, if the first combustible engine we know of, ran on water.
Right.
We don't even have to be going electric. We could go right on to water combusted engines. That's the steam engine. Remember back in the day in the 1800s, the steam engine. Steam is a form of water, and sure, you can make an argument like, oh, it's impossible to heat up the water enough and all this stuff. But what? Really? It's impossible? Like you can't get all the most advanced minds in the world to work on something, and I know it's possible. You could have a car that runs on water already, and I know there has been some. We've had steam engines that ran on water, for crying out loud, even before the invention of the gasoline engine.
Yep.
So that's where we're at here. So
They're like, we can't make money off water.
No, they can't. No. Well, they could. They're getting there now, where they're going to.
Our water's going to be full of toxins, and then they're going to sell us water.
They already do that, right? Correct.
It's
100% of the 100%, and the mayor claimed that 10 proposed new mines open, they can afford to invest in us. Backwards. Okay. And we're going green with our mining too, right? So Sudbury's this kind of like city set on a hill to be like the example for the world, I guess, which is interesting. Cliff is chiming in here. Do you have that, Nick?
Yes, Cliff says, shared a story from a fire department that released stats on EVs. On average, a gas-powered car fire takes about 500 gallons of water to extinguish it. But the EVs they've had to deal with are taking a ballpark of 12,000 gallons because the batteries keep reigniting over and over again. Whoa.
Just to put the fire out.
Just to put the fire out.
That's crazy. So again, right? These if that indeed is a fact, like you don't hear that in mainstream media. You just hear, well, it's just something we're gonna have to deal with. And just go ahead with this whole thing and don't question it. Just do it. Right. I don't understand it. They will find a way to tax the water
yes.
to an unprecedented amount. That's true. Yeah.
Well, we're getting taxed right now. Like my water bill is kind of insane, expensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's a delivery fee, but now they're going to be like, oh, our water's so toxic. We wonder why. And now we have to clean it and use all this new technology. And now we're going to charge you for, well, actually, we do get charged for hot water.
We do. Yeah. Through electricity, right? Heating it. Are you going to be taking part in this Miss Ontario pageant set for this weekend in Sudbury? I know you're in a.
Because I won't be here.
Oh, that's right too. Other than that, you would have taken part.
Yeah, I would be a judge, and I would have had a workshop.
Interesting.
I will. Yeah.
Darn.
Yes, but Cheryl, who's the organizer, has been doing this for, I don't know, over 20 years.
Yeah.
And she is such an incredible woman who people think pageants are just all about beauty, but it's not. It really helps women find their light and help with confidence. And there's so many workshops to discover who you are, who you want to be. And it makes you think of a platform to stand on. Like if you would win, what's the platform you stand on? How are you going to help this platform? It's really remarkable. And I have a daughter and I would love for her to be in a pageant. Not all pageants are the same, but Miss Ontario pageant is definitely a really positive experience. So if anybody is interested in that type of thing, definitely contact Cheryl.
Cool.
Sarah. Yeah.
Nice. Right on.
So you can buy tickets and go and participate. And it's pretty remarkable that they're going to have $10,000 in scholarship for the young leaders. of
Right.
Sudbury.
Right on. Yeah. And again, right, I think a lot of people judge, no pun intended, beauty pageants, saying they're frivolous or, you know what I mean, all this stuff. It's just you're judging someone's looks and all this stuff. But there is more to it than that. And some of them can be better than others, right? It can be build self-esteem. They highlight all aspects of a human being rather than just looks. You know what I'm saying? So would-be robber who messed with the wrong Sudbury store pleads out.
Ooh.
He was tackled and held by police. He was tackled and held for police by the owner, his wife, and a customer. Here's a picture of them here. This was over a year ago. It was the convenience store, Kelly Lake Convenience, on the corner of Kelly Lake Road and is it Bouchard? Anyways, in South End. And he goes in with a knife, but he didn't realize that, he messed with the wrong people. So he eventually picked up a piece of glass too, and he cut the owner behind his ear. So it wasn't just quick, whatever. It was a little messy, but the owners prevailed and the customer chipped in. It's neat to see that kind of thing. If you're going to get robbed, you should stand up for yourself. And they did, and turned out great. Now that particular person is pleading guilty in court. They will go on to. This is an interesting story here, Sudbury Star. So it's time for mask mandates to end in Ontario hospitals.
Finally.
I was having a conversation with my coworkers yesterday about this, and I said, I thought in the hospital you didn't have to wear a mask anymore. And they said, no, you have to. I was like, what? I thought I heard you don't have to anymore. They said, oh, yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just confused. And then I guess after this story, watching this story, it shed some light into possibly why. But let's just watch it. This is Lily from Sun News, and Sun Media is talking about an incident that happened in Toronto.
Personally, physically, huh?
You want to go that way?
I don't want to go anyway.
Okay, so leave.
I don't want to leave. I want to get treatment for my condition.
Okay, so you have to put a mask on.
No.
Okay, we're not doing it. All right, you're under arrest for trespassing.
Mask madness continues at some Ontario hospitals. Hi, I'm Brian Lilly, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. Disturbing video footage of a man being forcibly removed from a Toronto hospital, Sunnybrook to be exact, the Bayview campus to be even more exact, all because he wasn't wearing a mask. This happened over the Easter long weekend. The man's name is Eugene. He's asked that his last name not be used, but he told me in a phone interview that he decided not to wear a mask because he wasn't showing any symptoms. And the pandemic, it's long over. He tried to make those same arguments to the guards that were telling him he had to put one on in order to get treatment or leave.
I am not sick. I have no symptoms. I have no COVID. I have no flu. I have no cold. I don't pose a threat. The risk that I'm taking to get something is my own personal choice, and I don't want to wear a mask. If you're willing to kick me out because and refuse me treatment for my pain in my abdomen, which I came to ER for, that's your prerogative, but I will not wear a mask under any circumstances.
Okay. Depending on your view, you will see Eugene as either a hero or a villain. Maybe you'll just be somewhere in the middle. One thing that we can all agree on, though, is that COVID-19 pandemic is pretty much over. It's definitely not where we were back in March 2020 when wearing masks made sense, when wearing masks when people were showing up with symptoms made sense. Look, I'm someone who is showing symptoms right now. I don't have COVID, but I keep having this lingering cough. I've got sniffles when I'm outside too long. It's called spring in Canada. But if I showed up coughing and sniffling in a hospital, sure, I'd absolutely wear a mask. That's something Eugene told me he would do as well. But in this case, he showed up with abdomen pain, wanted to see a doctor, was told he couldn't unless he wore a mask, and then was threatened with arrest. Is that really where we're going in this province at this point in time, if May 2023? Many hospitals have started to get rid of their mask mandates. Right across the province, they said you don't need them anymore. That includes Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, and if they're going to drop them, then you would expect somewhere like Bayview would as well. I tried to reach out to the hospital, ask them for comment. At this point, no comment coming forward, no phone calls or emails answered, but this is something that the hospital administration has to deal with. Spoke to someone at the province in the health ministry. They said they have no requirements for health facilities to put in a mask mandate. It's up to each individual hospital. And as each individual hospital looks at the current case data, the current situation in Ontario, if they've still got a mask mandate, you have to wonder why. Are they basing their decisions based on science, based on health data, or are they basing it on fear or perhaps politics? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media.
There you go. So, we, particularly in Sudbury, I was told that we still have to wear a mask at the hospital here in Sudbury. So they've left it up to each hospital to make those decisions. And
How
I
does
think
that even make sense? Like, why
have no
isn't
idea.
there just a rule? Like, what's the rule? What's the science?
Yep.
What's the reason behind this? We should all be following the same rules.
Yeah. I think it's telling about a lot of people. Did you see the size of those security guards, by the way?
Yeah.
Like, they look like huge. They were like bodybuilders, security guards. That was very ominous looking, like in hospital security. They were like buff, you know what I mean? Like it looked like right out of a Hollywood movie kind of thing. Masks are useless. Okay, that's Randy. And it is true. I know a surgeon who basically said the real thing that helps with germs is that you wash your hands as a surgeon. The masks are actually just there to make the patient feel better. That's yes, feel safe. They actually don't really do much because the types of masks they don't really, the types of masks we've been wearing, air goes like the particles that are COVID are so small, it would definitely go through the particles in the mask. It is true. You can do your own research on that. However, even from a surgeon themselves, from the mouth of a surgeon, said really washing your hands is the best thing to do. The mask really doesn't do anything. It's just for optics. So anyways, so you have healthcare in Sudbury still clinging to that. Did you hear? I heard through a good source that, rumor, unverified.
Yes. That the health unit is still mandating workers to get boosted. I haven't verified this yet, but I have been led to believe that. I know my friend who left the old age home facility in Sudbury because she didn't want to get vaccinated. She was just contacted by her friends saying that they now need to still get boosted every 6 months.
Yeah. Now I heard a rumor too from someone who works in the city saying the city just dropped their mandate that in order to be get hired at the city or work at the city, you need to have it. They just dropped it. Unless you work in long-term care, and then you can't. You have to keep up. But that's a rumor. I haven't looked into that, but I thought that was huge news. If that is indeed true, it's not like they sent out a press release because I don't think they want to, have that. I don't think they want that to be kind of shouted from the rooftops, kind of thing.
No.
It just seems that we're, the kind of town or the kind of mentality in our city just kind of goes with the flow. If everyone else is doing it, we'll do it. If we're told that this is the thing, we just kind of go with it. We just follow things. So we're definitely not innovators in that way of thinking for ourselves, as far as I've seen. So that is true. Natalie says they have dropped their vaccine mandates for employees. That's big news. That's huge news. And I bet you they did not send out a press release to inform everyone. Well, of course not, because then they would have to give back anybody they let go from the city
that choose not to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, there's legal stuff going on there, right? They don't really want to publicize it all that much. Their job postings no longer have it stated. That's what I mean. They just took it off. They didn't announce it. It's like, hey, everybody, as of today, we're no longer requiring. They just kind of silently took it down. It's no longer there. They're concealing it as on a need to know basis, much like the transformation of a pandemic of the unvaxxed to the pandemic of the vaxxed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely been a weird coming 3 years, you know. This kind of last story we just talked about here in Toronto, the hospital, that there's just a lot of weirdness. And to add to that weirdness, here's another deep dive story for today. Dr. Theresa Tam, our Canadian Chief of Public Health, saying that, let's see here, climate change is one of the main reasons, priorities of public health. Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Theresa Tam has listed climate change among other social issues such as white supremacy, capitalism,
Climate change.
colonialism, and racism as systemic drivers of negative health. I'm going to repeat that again. This is the person that we pay to be our leader of health in Canada.
We did not vote in,
No.
but we pay, yes.
Chief Public Health Officer of Canada, Dr. Theresa Tam, has listed climate change among other social issues such as white supremacy, capitalism, colonialism, and racism as systemic drivers of negative health. We're Saturday Night Live's news when you need it. It's the latest report titled What We Heard. Exactly, what we heard, not what's true. Perspectives on Climate Change in Public Health Canada. The government suggests that these issues must be addressed in order to improve public health. The report is based on 21 one-on-one interviews with key public health, quote-unquote, experts across Canada, with the aim of understanding the health impacts of climate change on Canadians. We heard that there is a central role for public health systems in climate change adaptation, writes the report. We also heard that there is an urgent need to strengthen public health systems, strategies to actively engage in decolonializing action and embrace other systems of knowledge regarding human well-being and planetary health. This is very Orwellian sounding to me. What does that mean? What does decolonialization mean, first of all? Explain that one. And embrace other systems of knowledge regarding human well-being and planetary health. Whose ideas will these be that we're going to embrace? The fears from interviewed experts, quote unquote, including ignoring voices that need to be heard to address the climate crisis and polarization rather than a united effort to mitigate and adapt to the health impacts of climate change. The quote unquote experts claimed to have solutions to these fears, including embracing an intersectional approach to the climate challenge and quote unquote greater public health leadership centering on decolonization, justice, and equity. That's what's going to make us a healthier Canada.
That made all complete sense. It says decolonization could be understood as taking away the colonial. But this raises the question of what colonial means. Colonization involves one group taking control of the land, resources, languages, culture, and relationships of another group. Like what?
Well, that makes sense to me because colonization was done by, and they also included white supremacy in there.
Right.
Racism. So if you take, who's been accused of all of these things? What particular demographic do you think was accused of racism over the last 5 to 10 years?
Males.
Who tend to be white supremacists usually? What type of demographic?
White
or
males.
accused of being it, I should say, not necessarily proven to be.
No.
In a court of law, our courts could, if you were a white supremacist and you went out and harmed somebody with that particular, reason, you would be tried in a court and you'd be found guilty and you'd go to jail if you did something. So anyways, these are just kind of accusations. These are theories that are out there. But now they're going to put these theories in practice. And if they get rid of, if they decolonize, it's like depopulation. If you depopulate a population, what does that mean? It means you have to kill off. What's that?
Let's kill off the humans to save the earth.
kind of depopulation is doing that. So decolonization, and they're focusing on these. What do you think is in our future? This is given from our chief public health officer who was born in China, which we don't question because it's racist to question that. Where is her political affiliation? Does she have still a political affiliation? Some type of, oath that she's taken that we're not aware of? I'm asking this question not as a racist, just as this almost sounds like a draconian type of thing that's going to be implemented in our country. And if we don't have sound minds opposing this type of thing, who's calling who racist, first of all? Who's calling who a white supremacist? And who's saying climate change and all of these things, capitalism, have anything to do with health?
Our health.
So who's the one putting in the health that we have? What type of health was she schooled in? The same type of health. That's the kind of health she's giving. When she's saying get vaccinated, that comes from that type of school of thought, of that type of, anything to do with big pharma. That's the colonialization version of the medical system. So what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck? It would be so interesting to put together all the most ridiculous things she said in the last 3 years, because she said some pretty ridiculous things, like, when you're being intimate with your partner, to wear a mask or to like have a wall between you.
I know. We got to do stuff like, we got to take some time and do that. In the meantime, here's a video I find about talking about the climate emergency. And I think this is a cooler head, one that I'm talking about here. And have a listen and just think if some of this resonates at all. This is about a team of scientists that actually oppose the whole idea of climate change in the first place, of the way we've been sold it. Anyways, here.
Hi, I'm Michelle Sterling for Friends of Science Society. On the same day that 16-year-old Greta Thunberg delivered her impassioned speech to the UN on her claim that there's a climate emergency, a group of 500 qualified scientists and commentators sent the UN Secretary General this registered letter, making it clear that there is no climate emergency. For some reason, despite most major news outlets claiming that they are covering climate now, this has not surfaced as news. That's curious, isn't it? I know that our organization sent the press release to at least 500 media contacts. So maybe it will just reach more people if I just read the message to you. Your Excellencies, there is no climate emergency. A global network of more than 500 knowledgeable and experienced scientists and professionals in climate and related fields have the honor to address Your Excellencies in the attached European Climate Declaration, for which the signatories to this letter are the national ambassadors. The general circulation models of climate, on which international policy is at present founded, are unfit for their purpose. Therefore, it is cruel as well as imprudent to advocate the squandering of trillions on the basis of results from such immature models. Current climate policies pointlessly, grievously undermine the economic system, putting the lives at risk in countries denied access to affordable, continuous electrical power. We urge you to follow a climate policy based on sound science, realistic economics, and genuine concern for those harmed by costly but unnecessary attempts at mitigation. We ask you to place the declaration on the agenda of your imminent New York session. We also invite you to organize with us a constructive, high-level meeting between world-class scientists on both sides of the climate debate early in 2020. The meeting will give effect to the sound and ancient principle, no less of sound science than of natural justice, that both sides should be fully and fairly heard. Audiatur et altera pars. Please let us know your thoughts about such a joint meeting. Yours sincerely, Ambassadors of the European Climate Declaration. So here are the main points that they made. There's no climate emergency. Climate science should be less political. Natural as well as anthropogenic factors cause warming. Warming is far slower than predicted. Climate policy relies on inadequate models. CO2, carbon dioxide, is plant food, the basis of all life on Earth. Global warming has not increased natural disasters. Climate policy must respect scientific and economic realities. There's no climate emergency. There's no cause for panic and alarm. We strongly oppose the harmful and unrealistic net zero CO2 policy proposed for 2050. If better approaches emerge, we will have ample time to reflect and adapt. The aim of international policy should be to provide reliable and affordable energy at all times and throughout the world. So that is the end of the message sent to the UN by 500 expert scientists and qualified commentators. I sincerely hope this statement will offer young people some peace and comfort. While I respect the desire of so many young people and children to stand up for something, I see that some people are literally frightened into paralyzing anxiety. That's not how children should live their lives. And as you just saw, it doesn't reflect the scientific facts. I hope all of you will research the topic of climate change and see how vast and interesting it is, and not just listen to activists like Greta. I respect Greta too. She's clearly acting out of deep passion and fear. But as these 500 scientists point out, there's nothing to fear. There's no climate emergency. Everyone can go back to school and study science, math, and the stars. We live in a world of wonder. Let's be grateful for our many blessings and all the good we've inherited from generations past. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Let us respect our elders and honor all they have provided us with. For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling.
Well, it's interesting. Well, that can't be a good message. It was on TikTok, Aaron.
Well, the whole thing is that, and
this message, it was on TikTok from an account called Steven131967. So this can't be true. And that letter was probably just a fake letter.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Just that's what people would think.
Well, look, again, there's some type of saying that says when there's going to come a time when you say the truth, it's just going to be like so earth-shattering of a thing when you just speak the truth. You just have to listen to that particular letter, listen to the common sense, listen to her analysis afterwards, and that's the cool head prevailing on this whole thing. Is not denying that there's climate that happens, and not denying that there could be an impact, and not denying any of it. Just really looking at the facts for what they are, not getting all hot and bothered and
no
just
fear. Look at that. There's just no fear.
No
not
fear.
pushing a fear agenda. And if we look at all these agendas and everything that we're seeing on the news, it's all fear.
Yep. So many comments coming in about Dr. Theresa Tam here. I just want to get them up. A lot of people, not fans. I don't know how many fans she has. I guess there's people that just go along with whatever they're told, possibly are fans, but people that just maybe question something or maybe think for themselves have a hard time with what they're being told. I'm one of those people. I just have to question, and I think that's why I'm attracted to possibly a show like this, or news that actually asks questions of people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it doesn't look like our mainstream media is that type of journalism anymore. They're just kind of like an arm.
And did you know that they passed C11?
Yeah, for sure.
They passed that.
Coming up on Bill C-18 next.
Yeah. And so I was watching a YouTube, a girl that I follow on Instagram, and they just made a YouTube video of them saying happy birthday just so that they can share it. And she says, we go to look at it, and this video is not available in your country. And she's like, what? They're literally just saying happy birthday. One girl out of the 10 were able to see it because she uses a VPN. So she was able to see the video. And it's just like, wow, she used to have about minimum 1,500 viewers on her stories. And now she's getting about 500 views on her stories. It's just.
We know really the reason why they're going ahead. They look, for a politician, have they ever spoke the truth before? Have we ever thought politicians speak truth to us? For centuries, we knew that politicians, all they do is lie, but now all of a sudden some people feel that everything they say, they look at it as it's gospel. They're selling this bill as if it's for Canadian and Canadian content, as if it's like CanCon or something, but it's not. It's to shut down anybody who opposes any other view other than the main one that's being given from Ottawa. Period.
Yeah.
Done. Gone.
If you research the countries that are doing this, it's like China, North Korea. It's all these communist countries.
For sure. Now, Rob's sharing a plethora of all kinds of links here for everyone. Not sure because I didn't have time to look at them yet, but they're up there. Thanks for being with us, Rob, this morning. Thanks for sharing as well. Much appreciated. Vin has a comment here, everybody. So unfortunately, we got to end it there because we're way out of time. And thanks for being on today, Nick, just as we're getting going. We'll have to have maybe a 2-hour version or something coming up because there's just not enough time. So thank you very much, everyone, for being with us. Thank you so much, Nick. It was a great show with the little time that we did have.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yep.
Maybe in a couple.
Tomorrow.
Oh, on tomorrow as well. Okay, sounds good. So you and Billy tomorrow, and we'll have a great show with everyone else commenting here. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU. Have a safe and wonderful Wednesday, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. Ciao. Trying to get everyone's comments up here. Now they're all coming in late. So good morning. Have a good morning, everyone. All right. Bye.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.